This is the Jim Nog Pod with your host, Jim Noguera. On today's show, episode 5, Dominick Gaffney, former vice president of Student Government Association at Bronx Community College. Let's start the show.
This is the Jim Nog Pod with Jim Noguera. It is the Jim Nog Pod with Jim Noguera.
Most interested man in the world. Interested
with Jim Noguera.
Interested. A most interested man in the world. Interested
In the world.
Firstly, I would like to apologize for anyone expecting Rebecca Perez, writer, to be on today's podcast. We had set up a date and time, but it fell through. Hopefully she will be on in August. Well, this was quite a podcast. We started late. We didn't have much time because the library was closing very soon. And there was a lot of weird things that were happening. One of Dominick's friends who works at the library was literally staring at us through the door, which Dominick couldn't see, but I could, and that just made me really self-conscious. At one point, he opens the door and is listening to us inside the actual study room, not saying a word. And then there were the interruptions from the loudspeakers telling us that the library is closing. So this was a very difficult podcast to put together, but we made it happen. It was a short conversation, about half an hour. We talked about Dominick, who he is, his childhood. We talked about his time as VP of Student Government at Bronx Community College. Short and sweet. I hope you enjoy. And now, Dominick Gaffney. So how you doing, my man, Dominick?
I'm doing good. It's great to be here.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of my coworkers on here. So
Which one? Which one was your favorite?
let's see.
Who's your favorite coworker?
To be honest, I didn't get through everybody, but
But you saw a few.
I saw Marcos. I fully saw Marcos.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe saw a little bit of Rebecca. I didn't even know we had that many people, but definitely as soon as I get out of here, yeah, I'm gonna check out everybody in depth.
Yeah, and I hope to get more, many more people on the podcast to talk to them because they're all really interesting people.
Oh yeah, people are interesting in general, though.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm saying. I think that everyone is interesting in their own way. Like, if you really get to know somebody, you find out, like, wow, this homeless guy on the street really is interesting.
That's right. Yeah, everybody has a story.
Right. So I think why don't you introduce yourself a little bit for the people listening and watching. By the way, we're on Periscope. Hopefully the audio is good. Please let us know if the audio is good or not.
And I'm on Facebook Live.
You're on Facebook Live.
That's right. Let's get you some promotion. Let's get you some love out here in the streets.
What's up, Facebook Live?
That is, yes.
What's up?
Yes, I approve. This is the first opportunity I've got to actually speak on. And
you will have time to speak. Well, actually, not that much time because we are in a library study room, and I close at 7. It's 6:21 right now.
It's unfortunate.
And we're on my camera as well, which I'll edit, and that'll be up on YouTube.
So I think I have another opportunity to get on here.
Yeah, of course, yeah,
Fantastic.
for sure.
So I would love to.
But introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Dominic Gaffney. What can I say? 23 years old. I was just finished my tenure as VP for the Bronx Student Government, BXCC. Rep the Bronx. We love the Bronx. Seriously. But above that, I love entrepreneurship. A lot of hobbies, any creative. I love going to museum. I love hanging out with friends. I love the party. I love music. I love people. I'm a people person, very social. I love solving the world's issues. I love, talk about philosophy. There's a lot to Dominic, which you'll see in a different light sometime soon. I'll organize it. I want to orchestrate it. We'll get into that a little.
Yeah. Let's do that. So start with your childhood. Where did you grow up?
Well, I was born in Annapolis, Maryland.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'm not.
That seems kind of white.
I don't know if it is, but I actually don't know much because I moved out when I was 4. So I've been told. My mom was gonna kill me for that. I moved out here when I was 4. I guess that was really what it. Is it better there? Nah, I kind of like it here. I don't know why. Yeah. I moved out here when I was 4. My parents moved out here to relocate. I believe my mother had her master's at the time. Maybe I'm wrong. So I grew up in the Bronx, Tinton Avenue, near Prospect.
Okay.
And then my mother had fantastic opportunity through hard work, sweat, and tears to move us into a house in the South Bronx. So Hunts Point. And that's where we've been residing, hanging out and just living.
Are there any formidable memories that you have from your childhood that has crafted the Dominic Gaffney we see today?
I would say always seeing. It's kind of. I don't know if it's the answer that you look for, but. Oh wait, maybe I could think of another one. I was very adventurous. I was very 161 in Edgecombe. I think that's what MS 328 is. I was over there a lot. I hung out with a lot of friends, good and bad. I would say, I don't know. I just always was hanging out with like friends, playing video games, playing tag, hanging out late, get in trouble for hanging out late.
Yeah, I hear you.
Formidable.
I've been there.
I gotta need to get back to that one. That was a good one.
Okay, question. Well, let me ask it like this. When did you first realize that what you wanted to do, or are you still trying to figure that out?
Actually, I sort of am in the ballpark of like really what I want to do, and it's kind of like I want to live and breathe what I want to do forever, which is like entrepreneurship and just sort of business and sort of figuring things out. Social entrepreneurship. Maybe evolved with like policy and like change, and like whatever it takes to make change in my community or any community whatsoever. I don't have all the skills I need to make a real big impact, but I can tell you I'm using this summer. I'm not working this summer, actually. I decided to pay off all my bills and like really focus on really what I want to do. So I've just been really taking that opportunity to just relax, rewind before the school year at the awesome Bronx Community College. Love this place. I do very much. I'm very grateful for where I am. Yeah. So before the year starts, I want to really read, listen to more podcasts, listen to more of your podcasts.
Listen to the Jim Knock Pod.
Jim Knock Pod. Yeah, you're gonna be big, all right. So don't overcharge me when Like, don't. When I'm trying to get back in here, I'm like, I gotta get back on the Jim Nog Podcast.
Yeah, no, of course. There's always there's an open invitation for
Fantastic.
for coworkers who I know well. So, when did you get interested in student government?
I started from the Black Male Initiative here.
Black Male Initiative. I think I may have heard something about this. Go ahead.
Well, it's called Male Empowerment Network now, but it does include women and other groups, other minority groups. Latino. Well, this campus is mainly Latino, Hispanic heritage, and African Americans and Caribbeans. So mainly, we're in the Bronx, so you got to know where you're from.
Yeah.
So.
That was a little confusing. It's a male empowerment, but women are.
Well, historically, it was a male empowerment. It was. I think it was called Black Male Initiative. It also had other names. Yeah, so I think that's the overall umbrella of everything. That's like so.
Well, that's the most specific. How can that be the umbrella?
Well,
male.
It's in multiple. When I say umbrella, I mean it's in multiple campuses. But the main thing that historically is called I think it's called the Black Male Initiative, and I think it was supposed to help. I think from a statistical standpoint back then, they used it to help African American men, and maybe people from other ethnicity groups, impoverished ethnicity groups, actually help them out, because historically, and I think now we still have a problem getting into college and finishing, and then get into that next level.
Wow, is that part of the reason why you got into student government?
No, I got into student government through when I think it was called BMI when I was in. Now it's called MELP. So I was looking for a home on this campus, like, because I'm a very social person and I need that to really keep me going. So I went in there and I was like, I found a family. Jaleel Thomas, which is the president of last year. The student government president of last year. You really had. But anyway, so I started out in the Male Empowerment Network, which is now called, and I really found a family there. Like, everybody was like straight, like we were above like that whole childish thing, like that high school to college transition, because I didn't directly go to college. I actually spent 6 years in high school. When this place actually had a high school right here in Nicholas Hall, University Heights High School, I was there.
Oh,
I was in that school in around 2009. Separated from that school and went to James Baldwin High School, down Expeditionary Learning School, down in Chelsea. They had a bunch of schools in there. Bayard Rustin. I was on the baseball team. Did some other things there too. I actually went back for their alumni reunion, and spoke to some of the seniors. So I spent some years in there. Had a hard time. I was really comfortable. Like, I was that kid that everybody knew there. So basically, wow, really off the hook. Anyway, I started from BMI. I did a little fact right there. I started from BMI. And I seen everybody. Jaleel Thomas, who was the last 2015 to 2016 SGA president, and I had other friends in there from that program in there too, and so I really saw that, and I was like, yo, like, I want to be on the next level. I want to be on the next level of leadership, and the stuff that we talked about down there, the times that we went out, the times that we spent together. We were on our young adult grown stuff, because you had people in there who were 25 to 35, and we were talking about some real stuff, like politics, where's the state of Black men right now, impoverish the Bronx, like getting to the next level, where are we gonna go next? Like, that's where we spent our time in there, talk about some grown stuff. And I think that getting in student government pushed me to the next level, and not only getting in student government, but becoming, VP was a big thing. I was like, because I saw my opportunity right there. I was like, this is my opportunity to actually to work with other people who dedicate their time, who stay on campus to like hang out and just create clubs and moderate the club and fill that void in a lot of students' day, because this is a commuter college. Some people live across the street. Some
Yeah.
people live like all the way in Brooklyn. So I'm sorry, I was all over the place. Right
No,
there.
but that's really good because
Yeah.
we can take it many different directions. So how did you get elected? Because it doesn't happen to everybody to get elected VP.
Oh, being elected, first you need to get elected first. So I was in this library right here. Like I was in the library literally getting signature. Was it signature? No, I was advocating for myself. I had my flyer, my man Lewis and Felix, and we all teamed up and we was like, yo, we need to get these votes. We need to get in here. And we was just all around here running around. I actually gave up. I was like, you know what? I was like, yo, like it's a lot on my plate. I don't know if I could do this. A lot of people are not listening to me. A lot of people don't really, care about the change. Don't really care about the student government. And I was like, and Lewis, the one who kicked me in the butt, he was like, nah, man. I'm not even gonna try to remember his last name, but he's the one like, yo, nah. He went all around the campus, talking, vouching for me, and he's Dominican, so he has a connection with them. Like sometimes if you don't speak Spanish, like you can't really get the message through. Like, oh, I need you to vote for me, this and that. So he was like my brother in arms. Yo hablo un poquito español, pero es malo.
Muy bien.
So we was out there and he was actually my voucher, had the laptop in hand. He was like, yo, this is how you do it. This is what is, what we about. This is how we this and that. Out here, up and down, up, just basically doing our thing.
I think it takes a certain kind of person to be popular enough popular enough and charismatic enough to do that, right? To be elected into office by his peers, right?
Yeah.
Did you do the Trump route? Were you were you a populist? Maybe, arguably, stoking some hatred. Probably not.
No, I was really honest. I think that's what it was that really got me. I didn't make any promises. I was like, yo, this is what I'm going to try to do, and I'm going to find out how I can do it, and I'm going to execute. A lot of things that I was like, yo, this might be possible if we did it. Some things I didn't even know I could do. I did. I vouched for, the MTV screens, how MTV, how we should broadcast, more student activities, more like when there's a play, when there's a dance, when there's a end of semester party, when there's an event going on, when there's a talent show going on. We should broadcast that work. The media department, whenever the art department, whenever they want to host something right there, whenever STEM Club wants to host a fair, that's what should be on the TV screens, not. So I really pushed that one, and we're still fighting for that one, because we really want, it's with the contracts and stuff like that. Everything has to deal with like contracts because everything's in place before the new president, Dr. Thomas II Negby, got in here.
President of the school.
Yeah. So we really sat in a lot of meetings with him to sort of change that. Yeah, but it definitely requires a charismatic, honest individual. They definitely want to see that because, if you don't come to people in this community with realness, with a sincere heart, like, yo, I need your help to do this, and that, then they're not gonna give you the light of day. And I think that's what happened in that room when I got elected. Because first you need to be elected into the SGA, and then you need to be voted in from the IOC, which is the Interorganizational Council, which is Interorganizational Council is the IOC representatives, which is the club representatives. They come and they vote for the new VP. So it's not in the rest of the position executive board, because there's an executive board. There's a president, vice president, legal edge, treasurer, and then you have your secretary. Mm-hmm. So the only position that's voted in by the IOC, because there's two bodies, there's student government, and then there's the Interorganizational Council, which is when the clubs convene. The club, they have, we use that medium to process money, spread news about events going on, or what's going on in each other's clubs. This is where we go to communicate and vouch for each other. So yeah, that's where I got voted in, and it was fun. Like it was like 5 people who ran against me, and I got it.
People.
Yeah. It was intense. And
any of them watching on your Facebook?
Yeah, actually, Stephen Moken actually
Steven, he
Steve,
beat you.
Steven,
He
I did
beat you,
beat you, Steven.
He beat you. I'm
I
sorry.
did.
I'm sorry. Don't be
I think he
sour.
left. I
Don't
think
be
he
sour.
left.
Yeah, he couldn't take it. He couldn't take
He
it.
couldn't take the heat, but I did
But,
beat him. I did. Beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's sad. What's the president like, Thomas?
Oh, president is awesome. He's from West Africa, I believe. He's really humble. He's really, he's really nice. Like he's really like he really wants to see change. Like I can say that to someone who's been in multiple meetings with him. He's like, yo, what do the students want? How can we do what's best for the students? How can we change and do he's very progressive. He's very he has an open door policy. He actually set time aside where different students could come in and voice their issues, their what they had problems with and stuff like that. So it was like he's awesome. He's the greatest. He's actually the greatest, maybe principal. Like if it was in the form of a high school, he'd be like the greatest principal I've ever had. Well, he had to compete with he probably is the best head of commander in chief.
I mean, he seems like a really humble dude because I remember during the first annual, we're approaching the second annual staff appreciation day. And he personally, was serving everyone.
Yes.
He was really cool. So tell me about your time as VP. So like, what kind of things did you fight for?
I was fought for. We tried to figure out what was going on with the lunchroom and why the food was so expensive, especially for the kind of pockets that the students have here. We have a lot of
salad. I mean, the salads are crazy.
Unaffordable. It's like
I regularly spend like $10 on a salad.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely, and that's wrapped up in a contract. They're supposed to be here for another 5 years. And it's like, yo, you don't want them. Like, we can't afford the food. And then we talked about lowering the prices and subsidizing the prices. And they just were like, no. Like, they were like, no, we can't do that. They're already low. I was like, come on. And then we can't. It's not like we can go on strike and just be like, oh, no, we want them out. Everything's wrapped up in a contract, It's not the 70s. 70s, they would have been out of here. We would have boycotted it. But, it's... a lot of people, they don't know what's going on, and so that's what the student government is for us to be the liaison. Other things that we did was we brought back the Halloween party. Oh. We actually brought back the Halloween party. We end of semester party with the talent show, epic. We had a salsa band out here, and we didn't even expect people to come out in those numbers because people just don't pay attention to us. They just don't. It's not a concern of theirs. Like it's like there's student life, and then there's academic life, and a lot of students in all of these schools really just because it's not it's not a go away school. They just focus on I got to get my grades all the way up, and it's like no, it's not. It's not what it's about, man. It's about coming here and be all about the experience. And a lot of things are our experience. The lawn, all of that is for us. Like a lot of students want to know when were the gates coming down? When is the pool opening? The pool is opening this fall semester. The gates are down.
Pool in the gymnasium?
Alumni gym.
Wow, I've never used it, but it
should be nice.
I've never seen it. Is what I mean. What about the gym? Is that usable by people?
There was a big thing with only having 2 hours worth of free time in the gym on what was it, Thursday or club hours, and that's terrible because they're having classes inside the alumni building, and it's like students want to really go in there and ball out, de-stress, and to only give people who really a lot of people play the sport in this community to not really give them any access to it because there's classes going on. It's crazy. So it's and a lot of things, and another big issue is, the softball team. There's a male baseball team, but there's no women's softball team. There's no track team. There were Olympians that came from here. people who competed in the Olympians and in the Olympics. A woman, I don't remember her name, but she won silver, gold. But look at that. You know, it's
amazing.
We got this brand new library, and we can't even get student life down sometimes. You know, and that's important. You know, even no matter how much people care about it or not. But you know, when we handed out brochures, we had free food events. How much free food did we give out? Whew, so much free food. When we held events like leadership conferences, when we gave money to different clubs to do big things, the film festival, the media club's film festival. We went up to with the USS, because it is also attached to the USS, University Student Senate, which is the CUNY-wide student government. And I was the first alternative, and I was with Beverly Emmers and Ola DeMeji, and our president, Nicholas Asamoah. Nicholas and the Legal Edge were the first, like, were the main ones, and then we were like the backup. So we went all the way to Albany before the governor released his proposed budget, and we fought for free CUNY, and we fought for, the DREAM Act. We did a lot. What other things did we go for? Yeah, free CUNY, DREAM Act, some other things. Oh, sanctuary cities. This becoming a sanctuary city and a sanctuary campus where, we really protect immigrant students and and immigrant and a part of the DREAM Act and undocumented students, on this campus.
Yeah. All right. So maybe we'll end the podcast now, but maybe we'll try to record some other stuff. I can either record on my phone. I don't know if I brought my my handy recorder, my H1.
I could come back another day.
We could do that.
I would love to just come back another day.
We'll figure it out. We'll either add more to this podcast, which is about half an hour, or we'll do a part 2. We'll figure it out. But anyway, thank you for coming. Like, do you want to leave the people with something? Leave them with a little something. Personal philosophy, a maxim.
To be honest, I don't think they really got all of Dominic today. They didn't. You got much more than just having been the VP. I was much more. When I did my work with We Thrive, where I taught kids about social entrepreneurship, what I'm doing during the summer involving entrepreneurship, bringing programs to different schools and programs. I really wanted to get into that. So I'm really hoping we could really come back to this one.
We'll do it.
I'm gonna leave you with this. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, leave them with something. And make it quick.
Really, just be yourself and be happy. Do what you love. I know we sign up to do retail jobs, but you're really great at something and you need to do it. You need to give more time to that. All right, don't ever sign up to be miserable, and pay attention to what's going on, because a lot of people are going to take advantage if you don't. All right, have a good one, guys.
There you go. Peace. Till next time. I want to thank Dominic Gaffney again for doing the podcast. I would have loved to have talked to him for longer. So here's what we're going to do. I will invite Dominic again to the podcast, and we'll have a full hour to talk about many other things that are happening in his life. He is a go-getter, doing many things. And the next guest for the podcast is to be determined. I don't have confirmation yet, so I don't want to say. But check my socials at Jim Nog, Twitter, Instagram, and he or she will be announced shortly. Music for Jim Nog Pod by Marco Sanlaguagua. MarcoSanlaguagua.com. Guagua is spelled Guagua. Art by Seco1844 at Seco1844 on Instagram. Seco is SEKO. My website, which contains news and updates, bios, social media links, contact info, a bibliography, a blog, and a podcast page, is jamesnoguera.com. Noguera is Noguera. Please show your support by subscribing and interacting with the pod on iTunes or whatever your favorite podcatcher happens to be, and on YouTube. You can donate on patreon.com/Jimnog or directly via paypal.me/Jimnog. And thank you for your interest.